All right, great. So we're going to look at the different types of software. And Cleopatra, can you read from software to computer programs? Cleopatra?
Wait, sir. Hold on. So where's computer programs?
You, it's on the other page, but you're reading from software.
Okay, sir. Software. This is a name given to the computer programs that tell the hardware how to work. Without software, the computer hardware would be absolutely nothing as. Sir, which part is it?
Are you looking at the screen? It continues from where you see it on the screen.
There would be no instructions. Software includes the following types of program. Computer programs. These are instruction programs produced by programmers to create system and application software.
All right, good. Thank you. So, software basically refers to computer programs, what you have running on your computer. So, your Microsoft Word, your Paint, your game, those computer programs, they are called software. Now, without software, your computer will basically not function. Your computer must have software in order for it to function. So, you can have the best hardware, you can have the best monitor, the best keyboard, the best CPU, but if you do not have software to tell that hardware how to work, then you will not have an effective, productive computer. So let me give you guys an example. When you turn on your computer, when you turn on your phone, the software is actually loading up all the time. So, but if your device was not on, you had the hardware all the time. So if your device is off, can you use your device?
No, sir.
No, you cannot use it. If your phone is off, can you take a picture?
No.
If your computer is off, can you attend the class?
No, sir.
No, you cannot do anything because unless you turn on the computer, unless you turn on your phone, only then will the software turn on and starts up on the device in order to make the hardware function. So yes, your hardware, your computer has the monitor, it has the keyboard, your phone has a camera, it has all of these hardware devices. But if it does not have that software running on it to tell it how to function, then you cannot use the device. That's how important software is. So without the software, hardware would do absolutely nothing. You cannot use it unless you want to use it for paperweight, only then. So that software, it has to give instructions to the computer. Now, this is a diagram of a computer. I hope you guys would have taken this in your book also as to how the different parts of the computer, the IPOS cycle, how they relate to each other, inputs, outputs, processing, and storage. Remember, there's a difference between CPU and the case. It's right here also. The case is called the system unit, and the CPU is that chip inside of the computer, inside of the system unit. And even if you notice here also, it's indicating that this is a storage device, not a storage media, but a storage device, what you connect the storage media to. All right, so we're looking at the types of software, the types of computer programs, and there are two types of software. There is system software and we have application software. So if we continue our diagram, we're going to have one application software and then we're going to have two system software. See, we have quite a few diagrams. So let's look at our first type of software, system software. Cleavon, can you read for us?
The way, sir.
From system software to the end.
System software. This software is usually called an operating system since it controls the hardware and how all other softwares work. So our most commonly used operating system is Windows within by the Microsoft Corporation. System softwares are includes util, utility software. This software aims to protect and maintain the system software, just as mechanic maintains the smooth working of a car engine when it is serviced. Example of the tasks undertaken by utility software includes protecting software against damage caused by computer viruses, making copies of files backup, and recovering files after software has stopped working, crashed.
Very good. So if you notice, system software actually has two types of software: operating system and utility software. So system software further branches off with two types. We have the operating system, OS, and we have utility software, US. So operating system and utility. Now, because operating system is basically the main type of software, the main type of system software, that is why system software is usually called the operating system, because it's the main category, even though there are two categories of system software. So the operating system, the OS, it controls the hardware. It is the main software on your device that is controlling the software. And it's actually controlling how the other software is working. So for example, every time you start up your computer, that main software, that operating system, for example, on computers, is Windows. Whenever you press that power button, you see Windows is starting up, and that is controlling your entire computer. It is controlling also how all of these other software is working. So that is the main software on your computer. Now Windows is one example of that operating system. Anyone knows any other examples? Anyone using a computer by a computer by Apple? Linux, very good. I want you guys to take note of these system software, these operating system. Anyone using an Apple device? No one? Seems all of us are poor. So for Apple, their laptops, they're using macOS. And then we also have another one called Unix. Those are the popular examples of operating system. Now, these are called desktop operating systems because they run on desktops. So we have Windows, Microsoft Windows, Linux, Apple Mac OS, and Unix. Please take note of those examples. Now, for mobile, or what you're using on your phone or what you're using on your tablet, we have two common ones. You guys should be familiar with them. What are they?
Android.
Android, very good.
Android, very good.
I didn't hear that one.
Sir, iOS.
iOS, very good. So for Apple mobile devices, you use iOS, and for any other device, you usually use Android. So those are the common desktop operating systems, and those are the common mobile operating systems.
Excuse me, sir. And for iPads, it would be iPad OS.
Right. But it's actually still iOS. It's not called iPad OS. It's still called iOS. There are other mobile operating systems also. There's Fire OS, there's Harmony OS, and so on. But the main thing to take note of is that they're operating systems for desktop devices, and there are operating systems for mobile devices. I know we're going a little over time, but I just want to finish off this chapter. We just have a few more information to look at. Utility software, the other type of system software, that's main purpose is to protect the operating system. It is to protect the system software. So basically, it works to help the system software. So it's like a big brother and a little brother. So it's going to protect the system software. It's going to maintain the system software. So some of those tasks are going to be like protecting against viruses. Anyone knows the type of software that protects us against viruses? What's the name of that software?
Sir, antivirus.
Antivirus. Very good, very good. Antivirus. For those of you who don't know, please take note of that. The antivirus. Good. We also have software that backs up our files, that recover our files, and so on. Those are called utility software. They basically ensure that your operating system is working. Now, the other type of software is called the application software. Darshana, could you read that for us?
Okay, sir. Application software. Application software is software that instructs a computer to carry out a specific task. Word processors, spreadsheets, and databases are all applications of software.
Good. So please remember the operating system. How to remember what type of software it is, you have to think about the computer as a whole, the device as a whole. What is controlling the entire device? What is controlling the entire computer? And when you figure out what is controlling it, that is how you remember that it is an operating system. It is a system software. So once a software is not controlling the entire computer, it is called a application software. So anything other than Android, anything other than Linux, Windows, Mac OS, they are considered application OS. And once they are carrying out a specific task, they're built to do something specific. Like for example, a lot of you play games. Those applications are basically focused on playing games. They don't tell your computer how to transfer files. They don't tell your computer how to play music. They don't tell your computer how to turn on the camera and all of those things. They are just focused on playing games. For example, this browser that I have open, Microsoft Edge, It is used to view a PDF, to browse the internet. It doesn't allow me to play a video. It doesn't allow me to, actually, if you're on the internet, yes, but it doesn't allow me to do certain other things. So once a software basically carries out a specific task, drawing, type in a document, open a photo, play a game, those are called application software. So spreadsheet, database, and so on, they are called application software. Now we just have two more terms to look at. What is information technology and what is communication technology? And then we're gonna wrap up there. Delina, can you read for us?
It says, now that we have discussed how data can be input, processed, stored, and output to produce information, we introduce two important terms. Information technology, or IT, is the term used to describe the equipment, hardware, and computer programs or software that allows us to access, retrieve, convert, store, organize, manipulate, and present data and information. IT may also refer to the use of such equipment and programs to produce the information. Communications technology, CT, is a term used to describe telecommunications equipment through which data and information can be accessed. Examples of CT equipment are phones, faxes, scanners, modems, and computers.
Very good. So we have two terms here, IT and CT. So basically you guys are learning IT. You're learning about information technology. So what is information technology about? Well, basically it's us studying the equipment that we use to produce information. It's the technology that we use to produce information, as the name indicates. A lot of the things in IT, it's actually based on the name that it tells you. So information technology, it is about technology that deals with information, how to produce information, how to access information, how to retrieve information, convert it, store it, organize it, manipulate it, present it, how to do all of those things with information. That is what we are studying. And communication technology is basically how do we communicate that information? How do we use technology to communicate? So it's using telecommunications equipment. Telecommunications equipment is equipment that we use to communicate, like our phones, our fax machines, our scanners, our modems, our computers. We use those devices to communicate with persons. So CT is the study of communication of data and information. How we can transfer it, how we can receive it, how we can communicate with our family and friends in another country. That deals with that aspect of technology. All right. So we looked at quite a few information here. So to review what we looked at so far for this entire chapter, we looked at what is the definition of a computer. We looked at that IPOS cycle. Please remember, it's a very important cycle. You have to remember each step: input, output, processing, and storage. A computer has two main categories. If you look back at your diagram, hardware and software. Your hardware has 5 categories. CPU, which has 2 categories, the control unit and the arithmetic and logic unit. The second category of hardware is input device. Later on, we're going to look at the different branches and so on. We also have output device, memory, and storage. Please remember, there's a difference between storage media and storage device. And we looked at software, the second category of computers, component. Software has two main categories. There is the application software, and then there is the system software. The system software also has two main categories, the operating system and the utility software. We also looked at what is a peripheral device, and then we concluded with what is IT and what is CT. And then we also looked at some examples of operating systems. So if you guys don't have any questions on anything we looked at for today, that is going to be the end of today's class.